Hello and welcome to another crossover episode of Nigun of the Week and Tidbit of Torah. In this week's Torah portion, Parshat Behalotecha, at the end of the Torah portion, right before we transition to next week's Torah, we get this incredible 5-word blessing of healing. Amiss Miriam having tzara'at, which is a kind of skin disease but has spiritual and moral unexplainable roots to it. Her brother Moses cries out a prayer for healing for her. El na refa na la. Please, God, heal her, please. It's 5 short words. And after saying these words, then she leaves the camp and transitions back to the camp, and the people wait for her in order to be able to move on with their journey, much like we put our lives on hold amidst the illness that we face in our lives amongst those we love and those that are us too. What an incredible short blessing. And Eitan has made a melody that just brings this 5 simple words to life. So I'm wondering, Eitan, if you can tell us a little bit about your process of writing this melody before we sing it.
Sure. I wrote this melody in the context of Rabbi Micah Shapiro's Yetzirah songwriting program. And that songwriting method really emphasizes the idea that we are created in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim, and that because of that and because of God's creative nature, we are essentially creative. And in this method, we only have a very short amount of time to write a tune. Everybody that's participating in the session writes a melody for the same text. So I think our group of 16 or so people all wrote a melody for Ana Elna at the same time. And we only had about an hour that day to write a tune and then share it with the other folks. And then we had a few more minutes later in the week to finalize it after getting some positive reflections from everybody. And then we presented the final version very soon after. And I personally struggle with getting the song ideas that are in my head into final versions. I kind of go back and forth, and then I just leave them alone, forget about them. And I haven't written many songs, mostly for that reason. And so this method that kind of forced me to get something out and present it was super helpful. And so I appreciated that little bit of pressure.
And I appreciate that process because it maps on so well to the prayer itself, which is simple and refined. We could spend our whole lives trying to come up with an appropriate prayer for healing for someone in our life, and we might not, right? Because it's so hard to do justice to how we feel and the words of healing that we might want to express. And yet, El na refa na la, and yet the simple words are enough if they come from our hearts. So
Rabbi Micah Shapiro often says, you're not here to write an A-plus song. It's okay to write a B- song. We're just going to write something. And this prayer, it's not necessarily the most eloquent prayer I've ever heard. It might be a sort of a B- text, but it came straight from the heart, and it was something.
So let's think of someone in our lives, each of us as we're listening to this, that could use that B+, C-, but also just enough song of healing as we sing this.
Ana, ana, na refa, na, ana, na refa, na, la, refa, na, la, refa, na, la, refa, na, la.
Shabbat Shalom.